And I'd like to bring up Charles from PixVerse, which is going to talk about, well, first let me say, an incredible success because it shows how someone can come up through OpenSocial and work with companies like High5 and other providers to mature in the business. And I'll give it to Charles now.
Thanks, Alan. Hi, my name is Charles Ying. I'm one of the co-founders of PixVerse. PixVerse is a completely web-based embeddable virtual world that runs inside your web browser. No plugins required. And today I'm going to talk about our company, PixVerse. But first, happy birthday to OpenSocial. OpenSocial is 1 year old today, and we couldn't be happier to have OpenSocial around. It's quite a journey from last year. So PixVerse is 3 developers and 2 artists. That's our entire company. And with this team, we built out a couple of very high-quality applications on our virtual world platform. The first is PixWall. PixWall is a real-time photo, video, stickers, bling, photo sharing bulletin board where you can share photos and media with your friends. You can put on your profile page, you can leave comments, all the standard things you can think of. The other one is PixChat. PixChat is built on the same platform, but more oriented towards chatting. And it has a very visual interface. It's much more like photo sharing with chat integrated together. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So our OpenSocial story started with High5. We first started taking a look at OpenSocial and we said, where should we start? And so we picked High5. And the reason is because High5 has a massive user base. They're the 3rd largest social network in the world. They're the fastest growing social network in the world. And their OpenSocial implementation was very complete at the time. Paul Lindner and Lou Moore from High5 had just built all the features, viral channels, photos, presence, everything. And it was really a great place to start for us. So we built our applications on High5. Then we ported it everywhere. Now, Dan told me that I need to say migrate instead of porting, but you'll find out how long this took. So the first container we ported to from High5 was MySpace, and that took quite a bit of time, 90 minutes. We went to a hackathon at MySpace and got up and running. Most of the time was spent signing up for accounts, working through slightly different security models with MySpace, and the coding work took just a little bit longer, and we were up and running in 90 minutes. The second one was Orkut. Orkut took us 60 minutes, and half an hour was spent signing up for the sandbox and figuring out where our accounts went, and then resizing the app a little bit. And then, just to show you the power of OpenSocial as a technology, our backend that hosts our web components for our applications, we were able to port that to Google App Engine in 3 hours. So that sort of gives you an idea of how flexible OpenSocial really is. So once we had ported to the 3 large OpenSocial networks, we let 1,000 flowers bloom, as my friend Guy Kawasaki says, and see what happens. And so what happened was High5 traffic took off. Can't give you any numbers today, but I will give you one anecdote. After we had launched PixChat and High5, I was working late one night and around 11, talking to someone who was online from Romania, of all places, and they were just chatting and playing around with the app. And I was tired, having worked the whole day. I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up, logged in, started working, and that same user is still there. And I say, did you come back? What have you been doing? And she told me that she spent the entire day chatting on PixChat. So that's 8 hours. That's just one story about PixChat on High5. The users there are violently active and engaged, and we were just blown away mostly by our servers exploding and having to get more and more of them, which is part of the reason for App Engine. But as a result, we're now a part of High Five. So that's our story with OpenSocial. So now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about tips and best practices about OpenSocial to get you up and running. And the first thing to know is that OpenSocial is not Facebook. It's slightly different. Other people have talked about the differences here, but I'll say that even though it's a different platform, you can have apps that coexist. Our original apps, PixWall and PixChat, were originally Facebook applications, and we were able to port those to OpenSocial. It's a little bit different environment, but you'll find it to be very open and uses all the things that you're comfortable with: JavaScript, HTML, all that's there for you. The next thing is Google App Engine. I can't tell you how much time we saved by letting Google App Engine deal with the scaling issues while we could just focus on our applications. And it was a very good fit, as you can tell. Specifically on App Engine, we used web.py as our framework. A lot of people use Django, but we found WebPy to be a very lightweight, great minimalist framework. The next tip is to use jQuery. So as Raymond and Lee talked about, all the different containers have slightly different features to them. And what we did was we actually did our templating work to work across all platforms in JavaScript, using only a few lines of jQuery. The other thing about the difference between us and between High Five and Facebook is that we need to have our applications internationalized. So we wrote a very short amount of code in jQuery to just do all of our internationalization. So we went out the gate with the help of High Five in Spanish and English, and that required very little work on our part. It all took place in the browser. The other tips I'll give are to use JSON, which is a very compact, yet readable, and importantly, debuggable serialization format for doing library technologies. We use it from everything from communicating with OpenSocial to communicating with our server backends. It's very great. And if you're doing any Flash work, Swift Object is a great library that handles all of your Flash integration needs. And AS3 Core Lib gives you a lot of great utilities when you're building within Flash. The other thing that I'll talk about is that you should spend the time and have an abstraction toolkit. We built one ourselves. It didn't take us very long to do it all. It handles things like templating and different sizes in containers, which is a common thing you'll find. But also it helps to manage the rollout of different containers. So High Five had photos first, and so we had to be able to turn those off for other containers and so on and so forth. Other features like presence and different things, you want to make sure that you can take advantage of those things, but still retain your sanity and have a little bit of abstraction. On the back end, we had Python and backends for Facebook, MySpace, High Five, Orkut, and they used OAuth library from Leah Culver. And on the business side, I mean, other people can talk better about this, but I'll say that the standard rules apply for social network apps. Use your viral channels, it's very important. Measure your users. We use Google Analytics and our own analytics system. And refine your features. Figure out what your users want and cater to them. That's it. Any questions? I think we have time for one or two questions.
You said you use the Google Analytics. Have you tried their events-based analytics?
So the question is, The question is, have we used events tracking from Google Analytics? And the answer is yes. So all we had to do is add a little bit more JavaScript. It works great. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Charles.